Look at all this sand. I'm so thirsty. If only there was some way I could get water that didn't require basic knowledge of macroeconomics.
Halt, weary traveler. I have some water for you.
Thank goodness.
But only if you answer these questions about basic economic policy.
Oh, Mo, my economics knowledge is not up to par.
Don't worry, I'm here to help.
Thank Jerome.
All right, first question. What shifts the curve of the PPC?
Gosh golly, I have no idea. Okay, the curve of the PPC will shift when there are changes to resources or technology.
All right. What causes different point shifts on the PPC?
Oh, goodness. Okay, this one's easy. A point on the PPC will shift if the actual productivity of the economy changes. Not the potential, but just the production.
I'll take it. All right. A change in potential does what to the PPC?
Change of potential. It shifts it. That's what I said.
All right, touche. How does a shift on the PPC affect ASAD graph?
Okay. A shift of the PPC curve corresponds to a shift in long-run aggregate supply on the ASAD graph.
I suppose that will suffice. Here's your water.
That's what I thought. That was quite an adventure. It sure is a good thing I won't have to do that again any other time today. Wow, look at all these natural resources. It's so foreign to me. It's a good thing there's nothing here that requires basic knowledge of macroeconomics.
Ho, ho, ho. In order for you to pass, you must first answer these questions about the foreign exchange market graphs. All right. Your first question is, what are the shifters?
Okay. For the foreign exchange market, the demand shifters can be described with the acronym TRIP, which refers to taste, interest rates, income, and prices.
All right, I'll accept that answer. But your next question is, how does a shift affect the value of the dollar?
Shift. Oh. All right. Well, you see, when demand shifts on the foreign exchange market graph, if it increases, that will correspond to an appreciation of the dollar or any other currency, and vice versa if it decreases. If supply increases, that will correspond to a depreciation of the dollar or any other currency, and vice versa if it decreases. Whichever one's the one I didn't say first.
All right, you know what? I'll take that. Now, the last question is possibly the hardest question. How does it relate to AD?
Well, that is a hard question. If only something inspired me. Oh, Jesus. Well, when a currency appreciates, the net exports of that country will decrease because the goods become more expensive. Therefore, they will not want to be purchased in the market internationally. So, net exports will decrease when a currency appreciates, decreasing aggregate demand on the ASAD graph.
All right, smarty pants, you got that one right.
I know.
You can pass on through the forest.
Sounds good to me. It sure is hard to breathe with all this water rapidly filling my lungs. Oh well, at least I won't die of economic suffocation.
Or so you thought.
Oh no, I've got to call a doctor.
Your pain will diminish urgently after you answer these problems. First question. What is crowding out?
I have no idea. You see, crowding out is when the government is running expansionary fiscal policy. So they gotta borrow a lot of money from the banks. And when the demand increases on the loanable funds graph, the interest rate is also gonna increase, which means that investment spending will also decrease, which means that aggregate demand will also decrease, which means that the government is actually accomplishing the opposite of what it was trying to do in the first place. Stupid government.
I'll take that. Next question. What shifts the loanable funds graph?
Oh no. Alright. Well, supply in the loanable funds graph is shifted when people choose to save or spend more or less money. Demand is shifted when people choose to borrow more or less money, like we talked about in crowding out.
All right. Last question. How does this affect aggregate demand?
Aggregate demand? Alright, well that's an easy one. You see, when interest rates increase on the loanable funds graph as a result of an increase in demand or a decrease in supply, that is going to decrease investment spending, which will decrease aggregate demand, and vice versa.
Very good. Since that was such a long-winded answer, I'll grant you some breath and you may be on your way.
Wow, that sure is reassuring. I appear to be at a beach.
Yes! And you will remain here until you answer these questions about the money market graph.
Beach isn't so bad, I'll stay.
Hey punk, watch it. I'll knock your lights out if you don't answer these questions.
Oh, shift.
Alright, punk. What shifts the money market graph?
If only something were to appear to help me. Alright, money supply on the money market graph can be shifted using monetary policy. The kinds of which
Looks
Can
like
be-
you lost your pants, smarty pants.
can be remembered using the clever acronym OMO, Dr. RR, where OMO, OMO, refers to open market operations involving the buying and selling of bonds. DR refers to the discount rate, while RR refers to the reserve requirement and refers to the federal funds rate. Any other questions?
Yeah, mister. Well, I guess I can't call you smarty pants.
It was a towel!
Well, how does that shift AD?
It's an easy one. Alright, well, monetary policy can affect money supply, which can shift the interest rate, the nominal interest rate, up or down. For example, if money supply decreases using something, for example, the sale of bonds, interest rates, nominal interest rates, will increase, which will result in a decrease in interest-sensitive investment, which will result in a decrease in aggregate demand. This is also true for shifts based on demand in the money market graph.
Alright, I guess you're right.
I know.
How about you grab your towel and your sunblock and get out of here? Children, come to this beach.
I appear to be in another random biome, seconds after the last. This is sure an unexpected turn of events. I appear to be surrounded by some kind of pointy, big land bumpy bumps.
Ho, ho, ho! Welcome to the North Pole.
The North Pole? That's not possible. The North Pole is not situated on or near any major landmass and is only traversable.
All right, shut up. if you want any presents this year, you'll need to answer a few questions.
Questions? What kind of questions? Trigonometry?
Fool! I am the almighty clause of economics.
Economics?
Your final test is to inform me of the ultimate graph, the Phillips curve.
The Phillips curve. If only something were to appear to help me.
Your first question. What shifts the Phillips curve?
What shifts the Phillips curve? Okay. What shifts the Phillips curve? The Phillips curve can be shifted with changes to resources or technology.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Next question. What does a point shift along the curve indicate?
A point shift along the curve? Oh, Mo. A point shift along the curve indicates a change in actual production rather than potential.
I'll take it. Now explain the relationship of the Phillips curve to the ASAD graph.
Oh, please.
Any day now.
Okay. So the Phillips curve. The short run Phillips curve mirrors shifts in short run aggregate supply. Shifts in aggregate demand correspond to shifts in the opposite direction along the Phillips curve by a point. And the long run Phillips curve, or natural rate of unemployment, corresponds to long run aggregate supply on the ASAD graph.
All right. I guess I'll take it. Last and final question.
Oh, Jerome.
How do you indicate a recession and inflation?
Recession. A recession is indicated by a point to the right of the natural rate of unemployment on the side that favors unemployment, and inflation is indicated by a point on the other side of the natural rate of unemployment on the side that favors inflation.
I'll take that. Very nice, very nice. You have completed all my questions, and I grant you permission to go home.
Thanks.